Okay, so Harry, where you are right now, making in around 20K a month, what's the biggest challenge you have to getting to 100K a month?
Main thing I feel is the constraint from the side of reps alongside the business owner. What I mean by that,
Mm-hmm.
I do have hundreds of reps who are coming to me,
Mm-hmm.
but not hundreds of reps are actually trained.
Okay.
And second thing, I do have the business owners who are talking to me every day and who need reps, but not all of them are willing to pay the money as well. So I feel like I have to go to the volume phase as well
Mm-hmm.
and start getting leads that way.
So the way I think about this is, so for a coaching business, that's placing sales reps inside of businesses, and then on the business owner, they're hiring from you, so there's a recruitment element. That's all based on delivery,
Exactly.
right? So if your delivery sucks, that's going to impact your client results, and if your client results suck, then you're not going to get more leads. And if you're not going to get more leads, you're not going to grow your business. So it doesn't matter like how much we push on the front end up here. If our delivery sucks,
Hmm.
that's not going to be helpful. So first step is like let's look at the delivery, okay? So if your offer is you're helping sales reps get placed on roles, what is the delivery right now you do with them in terms of coaching and getting them ready? What do you do?
Right now, my main thing is I only work with people who are trained, who do have experience of more than 6 months in sales.
Okay.
So that's the one thing. But the main constraint I am facing is people are still making the mistakes.
Okay. Yeah.
What I'm understanding after talking to them, they might have the skill set, but they do not have the clear foundation.
Yeah.
So even though I place them, I have to always make sure the way they present themselves is the best way
Yeah.
in terms of how they talk to the business owner, how they actually talk in the introduction video.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes they're not responsible enough
Mm-hmm.
to do everything properly on their own.
So the way I think about this, right, is the challenge for you and the challenge for many people who have coaching businesses who actually help people to go interact with other people is that you are almost at the mercy of that person's ability. Okay.
Exactly.
So it's like if you know that that person is slightly experienced and an experienced sales rep or they're an inexperienced sales rep, I think the biggest thing that you need to do is put through some structure,
Mhm.
right? So you need to put them through like an actual program. So that program inside of here needs to be the syllabus, the Bible, the book, the textbook, right? And it's like there's no way a client or a user comes into your world on the user side to work with you unless they go through a structured program, right?
True.
And you're talking about the foundations. So what is the foundations right now for those people? So I imagine it's obviously going to be sales foundations. Next, it could be like mindset. Next, it could be like how to show up online.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're going to need to get onto this program, which is basically going to be like this effectively fast track,
Mhm.
right? So what that would mean is straight away on that delivery side, how are you currently doing them? Like what are you teaching with them right now and what's relevant to them to get placed?
Yeah, main thing that I'm understanding, people are coming to me, but they do not know how to showcase themselves the best way.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's the main thing, holding thousands of reps
Mm-hmm.
after even having the skill set and experience to land right opportunities.
Yeah.
So they come to me very straightforward. After looking at so many introduction video, I can easily tell what they're doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the main foundation, how to present themselves, because every business owner, they do care about first 1 to 2 minute video.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do not care about resume anymore. They do not care about what degree they have. They
Mm-hmm.
only care about, okay, this guy or girl knows how to present himself the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the foundation. Then we go into making their socials great. So it can act like their resume or
Yeah.
portfolio, and then sharing their wins, because people do not know, reps do not know how to showcase their wins properly.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at anybody's IG, Facebook, you're not gonna see, okay, we got 100K cash collector, we did 1 million revenue or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that, because that things are very hidden
Mm-hmm.
and they do not know how to showcase them properly.
I think there's a few ways here, right? So the way I brought this up here was we need the foundations
Yeah,
for sure. You need the socials of this, but you need the skill, right?
exactly.
So the win with this is with your offer and especially with the delivery,
Hmm.
what is necessary for you to get the result with clients?
Hmm.
Okay. So literally if we looked it up here, it's like what's the 80-20, right?
Yeah.
So the 80-20 up here, the 20% up here that you're basically kind of optimizing for, but the 80% down here, honestly, dude, it's going to go down to talent.
Yeah.
So
True.
it's going to be how talented are they and how much can you teach them, basically,
Exactly.
right? So this for me, the 80% here is the skill acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
You're teaching them specific skills. That's part of your program over sales. Maybe like it is like networking.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like the socials. But then the top 20%, that is like that's basically the chocolate. That's how they show up online.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to be judged on for sure.
Exactly.
But you need to be able to showcase that. Okay, specifically with these people, you're going to go through a structured program.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be, how long is the program?
45 days maximum.
Okay, so the offer is in 45 days they're going to be placed on a role.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
And is there ongoing coaching from there?
No. So what I do is within 45 days, I do 2 calls per week,
Mm-hmm.
one-on-one,
Mm-hmm.
and where I make sure that everything is in the place. It can be showing up. Second thing is like showcasing themselves the best way, because that is the main constraint I am facing as of now.
Mm-hmm.
But on the way of knowing more and more people, that is why I feel like now we are playing the volume game.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to realize, even though they do have the experience, but the skill set is not matching the experience 100%.
Yeah. So it's a program issue.
Yeah.
100%. So this is another way to look at this, right? So you're saying the outcome basically for them, right? There's the outcome up here, and then there's a transformation. Okay. But the reason why this is important to define first when you're looking at creating like an insane offer is because it doesn't matter what the outcome is. If the program sucks, you're not going to get there. So if the outcome is a placement in 45 days,
Yeah.
45 days, the transformations, they're going to be, well, how much are they going to earn?
For DM Cider, 5K. For Phone Cider, 7 to 9K. For a closer, it can range from 10 to 15K.
Okay, well, that's a pretty high expectation, right? But yes, if we can get there, that's going to be unbelievable. So effectively this, right? So the way to go look at it is, what's the painful problem that you solve for a very specific user that's easy to find online? With your offer, you're helping sales reps, setters, and closers get placed within 45 days onto a role.
Exactly.
But this is the big kind of kicker here is there's the outcome, there's a transformation, but then there's also the deliverables, which is how can you get that result for someone as fast as possible? And that's where we speak about having a structured program, right? So the program, then you're going to have the one-to-ones, okay? You have the one-to-ones. But my honest opinion here is it's very hard to like change someone's entire life in 45 days. It would be more valuable to have a longer engagement whereby you can provide them additional support.
Okay.
Right. So for me, like the absolute like sweet spot when it comes to programs is generally 6 months. Why is 6 months my preference? 12 months is way too long. People get lazy. They don't do anything. Anything under like 6 months or 3 months, let's say, of coaching is kind of like a bit overwhelmed. There's a lot of condensed information. They're getting pushed really hard. I've always found 6 months to be the sweet spot because you can do a few things. One, we can get the goal, which is this.
Yeah.
In the first 45 days. Then the ongoing support then is just giving them that high level support so that they're able to get like more help from you. Okay.
True.
Because that communication can be one-to-ones, it could be group, it could be on WhatsApp, like it could be async communication. So async just means basically they communicate with you on WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack, or whatever. Okay. And doing this allows you to drive up the price.
Yeah.
Right. Because the whole thing with this is if you're selling a short program that's going to have a quick turnaround, it's going to be very hard to keep like the cadence and the rhythm unless you have mad volume.
Yeah.
You know, so what's the current investment?
2K.
2K for that. Okay.
Yes.
And you said you're getting like very resistance on the calls for that.
Or sometimes I do.
Okay.
It varies from people who actually burnt out in the past. So every second person coming to me, they already invested in the mentorship, but they still did not get the results.
Yeah, that's an objection though, right? That's kind of like saying my last relationship is the reason why my current relationship won't work.
Exactly.
You know, it's just like it's true, but it's also it's also not relevant to you because it's mutually exclusive, right?
Mm.
You could have a different technique, you could have a different method, and this happens to us quite frequently. It's someone will message us saying, "Hey, I'm interested in growing my business, but I'm in this program,"
Yeah.
and it's like, dude, if you're in that program and if everything was great, you wouldn't be messaging me today.
True.
Okay, so if this is 2K for 1 month, I think there's no reason why this can't be a structured one-to-one program for, let's just say, 4K. Okay, the average order value and the LTV has gone up, and you might do a split on this or whatever. Okay, you could do like a two-way split or a three-way split, but you're generally going to be able to squeeze more of the juice in this. And then the benefit of this is we could kind of adjust the one-to-ones. These one-to-ones could basically be, these are twice a week.
Yeah.
That's too high.
True.
Because you think about it, right? What can you truly do in a 48-hour window consistently before meeting someone again? It's not enough of a feedback loop. You can move these basically to bi-weekly, honestly, and then eventually monthly. Because the whole thing is, it sounds like to me that in the deliverables, which is your biggest constraint right now,
Yeah.
that you're doing so much of this manual stuff, like, hey bro, like do this, do this, do this.
Yeah.
Whereas if you had a structured way to do this, like your program material is dialed, the one-to-ones are effective, they're not just being handed out like fucking sweets, basically. And then as a result of that, they're coming in and getting the result. Now, they're still going to get placed, right? So in the first 45 days, they're still going to get placed. So that's still the goal. We want to get them we want to do better with them, right? Because like I get reps from you, and if I knew that the reps that I brought in, if they were continuously trained at a very high level,
Yeah.
then I would, one, have more confidence in those reps, and then two, continue to buy from you.
Exactly.
Okay?
That is true.
So there's two sides here. There's one, having that one-to-one offer, which is high touch, high proximity, and then we can even draw that what that would look like, right? So the offer needs to be so dialed in that you're gonna have a few things. You're gonna have, come back to that box. So this is the one-to-one, okay? This is your unscalable program that is the highest level of proximity.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go back here on proximity and speed, okay? So the way it works is the closer I am to you, the faster I'm going to go. The faster I'm going to go, the better the results that I'm going to get, okay? So that's where the one-to-one program is in here, okay? This is where we're going to have, it's still a 6-month engagement. It should be.
Yeah.
6 months. It's structured. There's program material, and it's async communication there, and there's like, there could be like weekly calls too, so weekly group calls. Do you do that right now?
Yeah.
You have group calls too?
No. Right now, only one-on-one.
Yeah, so this is the thing.
Yeah.
We need to transition from just a one-to-one model that's very repetitive. It's not that it's hard to scale, it's just that it's repetitive, into a group model that has one-to-ones.
Exactly.
Okay, because even if this is a WhatsApp community, like one of our programs is run off of WhatsApp, it's just, it adds a lot of extra variables for them to be able to network with people, communicate with other reps, learn together with other people.
Exactly.
Okay, now the other component to this is, so let's say this is 4K. Okay, so that's a 4K offer. Now you'll get splits on this, right? You'll do a 2-way split, a 3-way split, but the best way to do it, so if it's 2 ways, it's going to be 20% interest. So that's 4,800. And if it's 3 ways, it's going to have a 30% interest. So that's going to be 5,200.
Cool.
Okay, so the simple rule here is 2-way 20%, 3-way 30%.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the next question is, if that's going to be tough to get in because it's one-to-one, it's high touch, it's close with you, then we need a group component.
Exactly.
Okay. So on the group side, so creating a scalable, repeatable, enjoyable group program. What's the purpose of this? Purpose of this is to get max throughput, like the max amount of volume through, especially when we get into the content, which is coming next. We need to get most people through there. So how have you approached this so far, and what's been the process?
So I'm actually planning to build a community because even when we look into the business side, right, I have to still talk to people who are not in my pipeline as of now.
Yeah.
So the thing is, this component is necessary But also when we come to deliverables for the business side, it's gonna increase my reputation with the business owners. So it's still in the processes,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking to few people who do have very big names in the industry as well, who can record the sales,
Yeah.
like foundation, even you as well, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's funny because I actually do that for a
Yeah.
bunch of our client programs. Is that the sales? I'll do the sales training in there.
Mm.
So this is what's quite interesting, right? To scale a coaching business, you don't actually need to be an expert.
True.
You can just pull in experts to do the work for you.
Exactly.
Like I have sales coaches, marketing coaches, offer coaches who come in and help our clients. You don't need to do everything yourself. So if you're building out a sales program and you have, let's say, if you have coaching calls inside of here, they don't need to be directly done by you. If the program is there and needs to be created, it doesn't need to be created by you. You'll do some stuff for sure, right? But the community aspect could be run by you, or at least it could start there. And then the logic is all the one-to-ones, all this kind of stuff is only here. And the 6-month engagement is only here.
Yeah.
And then this is where we have basically what we call a front-end offer and a back-end offer. Because now, as a result, this group offer is lower proximity, higher, and it's medium speed. It's going to go into here,
Yeah.
this bracket.
Got it. And but majority of the things going to be done by me, right?
Yes, well, you can run a few things here, right? Let's just go through it. So let's just say you're teaching them sales connections, so being able to connect with people. You might run the network part of it, the networking part of it, like teaching them those components. And there's no issues there. Then you'll also do like 1 or 2 group calls a week.
Exactly.
And then you might have someone who comes in to do the sales coaching. You know, you might pay them like a couple $1,000s a month. They'll do specific sales coaching and they'll be able to take care of stuff, you know?
Exactly.
Because then beyond all of this, if you imagine this is the ecosystem, if this is the ecosystem, then these are your offers within the ecosystem that gives you max throughput. Because eventually someone's going to come from here and then they're going to be into the group, and then we need to talk about ascending into here.
Yeah.
So have you considered how that would look and what would happen there?
Honestly, I haven't. Yeah, but the main overview that I do have is building a community on school where I can teach the foundation, where I can invite few people to record some sessions for me, because I want people who are paying even like let's say $97 per month for this community. They have to understand that they have to see my face in that community to have the trust. Okay, we are actually getting something from Harry, not
Yeah.
somebody else.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's still going to be led by you. It's
Yeah.
it's founder led. You're going to do 80% of the work, back to the 80-20 rule, right?
Yeah.
You'll do 80% of it. But if you find that you don't have like the expertise in a certain domain,
True.
just call a friend.
Exactly.
You know, I think people don't do that more often, that they don't include other people into their program, and I think that's a massive disadvantage.
Exactly.
So the biggest thing here is the group program is more accessible. It allows you to grow your brand, and then you need to work on ascensions. So what ascensions is this basically? It's we need to have such a great program that people want to keep working with you, and they want to go from the group program into the backend program.
True.
Because now what does this mean? Like the economics of this become a lot of like makes sense, which is we can create content, we can create ads, they can come in here. You can add in, 100, 200, 400 people here a year or whatever.
Yeah.
And then as a result, you're going to have that uptick into there. So even if it is, honestly, even if it is 5%, 5% of 100 people is 5 people move into your one-to-one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then 5% of 200 people, it's going to slowly go up and up and up. And then that number to get to like 100K a month is actually a lot more achievable from there.
True.
Because we have this thing called a scalable, repeatable, and enjoyable program.
Agreed.
Okay. Next, I want to chat about the traffic. Okay, so we know what the offers are. We know how to make them. We know how to make them better. How are you going to get leads? What's the process right now?
Right now, it is all organic. One thing that we are doing, me and my team, we do have huge network, sales trainers, people who are actually training sales reps. They all are connected with me. On the other side, people are connected on my IG as well because I'm a recruiter, right? I do have a good name. So whenever we post a story, we got hundreds of applicants for a single job. So
Good.
that is all organic. And from there, I actually start talking to people. They tell me their frustrations. Hey, here we are in the space for this long, still facing same XYZ problem.
Yeah.
And then from there, I hop on a call and see if this is a fit.
Okay. So the way I think about this is you have the exact same problems over and over again. Reps come to you, they're not making enough money, they want to get placed on better offers. You put up a story that says, hey, I got this offer, you get a bunch of people come in. There's a world here where you just single-handedly double down on your stories in terms of like the actual like storytelling, the narrative that we want to tell, and like how do you want to convey this story to people.
Yeah.
That's top of mind. This is like your daily stuff, man. Honestly, it's just this like daily. It's not even pushing jobs. Essentially, it could just be like, hey, like these are all the problems in the industry. This is what we've identified, and so on. You're building up that cult following. That narrative and those pain points are what needs to be in the reels,
Exactly.
right? So it's like all those pains specifically, we need to convey that in the reels. What about your own story? How much are you sharing that?
I'm sharing that a lot.
Okay.
Right now, genuinely, this is my whole story, right? Like coming from a background where I learned how to speak English 2.5 years ago when I moved to Canada.
Crazy.
That was the part. And after that, I went into solar sales. That was my first sales job, where even though I was the only Indian rep, I became number one rep in the whole company by the end of summer. I paid my tuition fees for the college. I never asked single cent from my parents anymore after that. Then I shifted into high ticket space. First 3 months, I got 5 times more rejections than any other native speaker. After that, what I learned is I had to go into the connection route to actually land right opportunities. And that is where I started growing my connections, my network, my Rolodex. And now there are business owners who come to me rather than I'm chasing them. Hey, bro, we are looking for an opportunity. So this is the story that happened with me. And that is why I want to create an impact, because I knew that I had the skill set. I knew I had the experience, but I still wasn't able to land the job.
Yeah. And what I also to say here is people buy the story, not the product. You know, they're not interested in the exact solution, they're interested in you. So people buy coaches, they don't buy coaching. So yes, you can share that with them a bunch of tactical stuff, very value pack stuff, but fundamentally what are they buying? They're going to be buying you.
True.
So what we need in this instance is I need to hear that story like 50 times, bro. And the thing about storytelling and your origin story is that you should be so sick of saying it because it just becomes so repeatable to you, but that's what people need to hear, right? It's like, why does the Coca-Cola Christmas ad have the exact same ad every single year? It's because it's repetition in the brain. So the more of repetition that you can put in terms of this is the narrative that I want to share with the world, and this is your positioning in the world, include that. You know, because like my story is like I started with a $60 microphone and a money back guarantee from Amazon because I genuinely believed I would hand back the microphone by the end of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So why is that relevant? Why is your story relevant? Because it's relatable. It shows like likeness. It shows trust. It shows authority. It shows integrity. It shows discipline. So that needs to be everything, bro. And the reason why I broke these categories out is because, like, dude, like you can say the same shit over and over again on a different format. So if you check my Instagram, top post is a carousel, but that's of my story. The third post is also of another static image. That's like a static, okay? And then if you go to my reels, the first like 2 are going to be my story as well. And even my highlights, dude, on my IG, even my highlights have a start here and it says, we run a 7-figure consulting business, but at 23 years old, I was on the back of my third failed business. And showing that authority, yes, but also showing that story and that narrative is super, 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 super important.
Agreed.
You know? So that's it on that side. When it comes to, so where's the gap right now? How much are you sharing about your story?
A lot. Not as much as you mentioned, but I'm sharing it. I feel like once every 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, you can increase it more.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm kind of getting to, which is, you know, your best organic content will become your paid content.
Yeah.
So I think the idea here is, what are proven formats that you currently have on organic that we could turn into paid? What would be, so just your story, right?
One is my story. I do have one carousel as well, which performed best.
Okay.
It was my transformation.
Yeah.
How I came from India and generated 1.5 million in sales,
Mm-hmm.
and all because of the connection.
Mm-hmm.
And third thing is my belief in terms of I have to go connection route rather than pipeline applying on the job boards every single day.
Okay, so that's actually your mechanism,
Yeah.
funnily enough. So let's just break those down. So the idea here is you need to start running follow ads. So follow ads is the process of turning your best organic into paid, effectively awareness ads that grow your brand and bring in leads effectively. So a lead is defined by someone who's qualified that comes in to work with you. So it's not followers, it's qualified
Yeah.
followers. So what does that mean? So a follower is just like any bot that comes in, but a qualified follower is someone who is the ICP, who is someone that you can work with directly, and who fits that criteria from here. Okay, so they're not just a random person on the internet, basically. So what does that mean? When it comes into here, your actual story, I would definitely test running your own personal story and your transformation as follower ads.
Cool.
You will probably get a lower CPM and you'll probably get more followers. You might get a little bit more that are unqualified, but we just got to make sure that we're managing it. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Because that will give you a lot of authority, to be fair, and it will showcase who you are, your model, all this kind of jazz. Because effectively, then after that, we can share more mechanism stuff. So all the connection thing is a mechanism at the end
Yeah.
of the day. It's not necessarily like, it's not, it is different and it is unique, but it's just how you get the result for people,
Exactly.
you know? So that will get less leads come true, but they're going to be more qualified. So we're always kind of have this balance where you either have more qualified or you're getting more followers. And then we're just trying to manage this part here, qualified versus unqualified.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
and it's almost like a variable that you can't control for, but you just need to be able to manage it properly.
Okay.
Cool. So when it comes to more tactical content like the mechanism, what do you produce right now?
Right now, it's